The Diablo Canyon plant first came to national attention in 1973 when a shell oil study revealed the existence of an active earthquake fault 2.5 miles off the coast. Subsequent geologic studies established that this Hasgri fault is capable of a major 7.5 magnitude earthquake, and that connecting faults, or branches from the main fault, may lie directly underneath the plant's Unit 1 reactor. Despite these studies, and the utility's history of building on fault lines, neither PG&E nor any government agency commissioned seismic studies offshore from Diablo Canyon before the plant was licensed.
The experts we dealt with, that we were engaging, said they did not think any further analysis offshore was necessary beyond what had been done onshore.
One reason the company did not look offshore was disclosed in a memo by PG&E's chief geologist, who decided to forego further seismic studies because of the, quote, risk of uncovering geologic structures which could lead to additional speculation and possible delay of the plant, end quote. The discovery of the Hasgri fault frightened many residents of San Luis Obispo County. Yet participation in the public hearing process convinced both groups that the NRC was determined to license Diablo Canyon.
The dispute in this proceeding is not between people who are pro-nuclear and anti-nuclear. The dispute in this proceeding centers on whether the Diablo plant does or does not pose an unacceptable risk to the health and safety of all Californians, and in particular to the residents of this San Luis Obispo County, who would be most immediately affected by a nuclear accident resulting from seismic activity on the Hasgri fault zone. The proceeding doesn't place nuclear power on trial, but in a way it does place the nuclear regulatory process on trial. Before 3 Mile Island, the NRC assured the public that the likelihood of a serious accident resulting in core damage occurring at a nuclear power plant was so small as to be almost non-existent. The accident TMI not only destroyed that myth, but severely damaged the already tarnished reputation of the NRC.
Only hours before the uranium fuel was loaded, a young PG&E engineer revealed that the wrong blueprints were used to design the Units 1 and 2 reactor pipe supports. A subsequent study confirmed 14 other serious design errors which affected the safety of the plant. The revelation rocked the nuclear industry. An angry and embarrassed NRC suspended the Diablo license, a first in the history of nuclear power. PG&E Chairman Frederick Milkey recalls the discovery that shocked his company and the nuclear industry.
How could this happen? That was one. And, great embarrassment, no question about it. It's the kind of error which has occurred other places. I didn't think it would occur at our plant, but it did. And the immediate reaction, of course, why did it happen? And what does it tell us about the rest of the work we did there?
An army of Bechtel Corporation engineers was hired to correct the problems. Over the next 2 years, they discovered and reportedly corrected over 3,000 design and construction flaws. In an extraordinary statement, Nunzio Palladino, chairman of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, confirmed the views of nuclear critics regarding the nuclear industry and Diablo Canyon.
There have been lapses of many kinds in design analyses resulting in built-in design errors, in poor construction practices, in falsified documents, in harassment of quality control personnel, and inadequate training of reactor operators.
Despite Mr. Palladino's misgivings, the NRC gave approval for fuel to be loaded into the Unit 1 reactor on November 8, 1983, even while the NRC staff continued its investigation of plant workers' allegations of construction, design, and safety violations.
We have done what we set out to do, which was produce a plant which will give low-cost power to our customers, and that we've done.
Instead of admitting that they made a blunder and volunteering to absorb most of the overruns themselves, they're trying to put a good face on it, trying to pull the wool over the public's eyes, all in the hope of getting the ratepayer to pay for their own mistakes.
The question is, in terms of who should pay, isn't it appropriate that you pay for the value of the power produced, regardless of what the mistakes actually were or what the good things were?
Pacific Gas and Electric wants to charge the entire $5.7 billion price tag for Diablo Canyon to its ratepayers. The percentage of the plant's cost which may be included in rate increases will be decided by the California Public Utilities Commission. California State Attorney General John Vandekamp has joined forces with the Abalone Alliance and other groups protesting a rate hike to pay for PG&E cost overruns.
Public Utilities Commission is obliged to disallow excessive and unreasonable costs. And if ever there was a case of excessive and unreasonable expenses, Diablo Canyon is such a case.
Initially, when it goes commercial, if we get everything we ask for in Diablo Canyon, our customers face an initial first-year increase of about 7.5%. That, of course, will go down in following years, so that within 10 years, our customers will save $5 billion.
These projections are disputed by the staff of the Public Utilities Commission, which estimates that PG&E rates could rise as much as 20% if the utility gets its wishes. That means that ratepayers could pay an extra $2 billion over the life of Diablo Canyon. In the years of controversy surrounding Diablo Canyon, the plant's opponents have focused on the possibly deadly combination of an earthquake occurring with the nuclear accident. Transcripts of a secret NRC licensing hearing on Diablo Canyon show the Commission searching for ways to overlook that possibility. The transcripts show the Commission accepting the utility's own disaster study without a public hearing. Quote, "Earthquakes are really no worse than fog or whatever," end quote, the chairman says, adding, "I know I'm drawing on information that may not be in the record," end quote. On the matter of further delays, an NRC staff member states, quote, "It would be extraordinarily unfair to PG&E to delay the plant," end quote. The NRC chairman says, quoting again, "As soon as you hear the word hearing, you see so much time elapse," end quote. One of the commissioners, James Asselstein, spoke out angrily about what happened.
There's been a great deal of pressure over the past few years on the Commission to avoid delays in issuing full power licenses for plants. And I think this case manifests the results of those kinds of pressures on the Commission.
Even though the NRC is mandated by Congress with ensuring public safety above all else, the transcripts reveal that the commissioners deliberately underestimated the dangers posed by earthquakes in order to avoid any further delay in the licensing of Diablo Canyon.